I own a construction firm. Build it from the ground up. 14-hour days, 6-day weeks, missed birthdays, and skipped vacations, all for one reason: to give my wife Amanda and our 2 kids a life I never had. We've been married 17 years. At least, I thought we were married. I thought we were in this together. That Thursday, I came home early. Client meeting canceled, so I figured I'd surprise Amanda. I stopped at her favorite bakery, picked up the lemon tarts she loves, and even grabbed flowers from the corner market. I wasn't trying to be romantic. I was just happy. I wanted to bring something home, but when I opened the front door, I noticed something strange. The hallway was quiet, too quiet. Amanda usually had music playing or some podcast in the background. But that day, nothing. Just silence and the faint hum of the sea. Then I heard voices, a man's laugh. Muffled, but close, upstairs. My chest tightened. I don't know what made me move so quietly, but I crept up the stairs like a thief in my own home. The bedroom door was cracked open. I didn't even have to push it. She was in our bed. Amanda, laughing, wrapped in a sheet, straddling Ryan. Ryan, my business partner. My so-called friend. The man who toasted my anniversary with us last year. The godfather to our son. My brain didn't register rage. Not yet. Everything slowed down. My hands went cold. I stood there, watching for maybe 4 seconds. Then Amanda looked up and screamed. Ryan bolted upright like a caught teenager. Amanda scrambled to cover herself and started yelling. It's not what it looks like. That's what she went with. I didn't speak. I set the lemon tart box on the dresser like it was radioactive. Walked over to the closet. Grabbed a hoodie. My gym bag. Still, no words. That seemed to terrify her more than if I'd shouted. Nathan, wait, she said, her voice all breath and panic. We can talk. Please don't do anything stupid. I looked at Ryan. He couldn't even meet my eyes. Amanda followed me downstairs, still wrapped in a sheet like some sick costume. She kept talking, trying to flip it. This marriage has been over for years, Nathan. You just didn't want to admit it. You're always working, always gone. I was lonely. I needed something real. She stood there in my kitchen, in my house, and tried to sell me that line like she was the victim. I'll file first, she said suddenly, changing tones like she flipped a switch. I'll tell the court you've been emotionally abusive. I'll tell them you neglected me, that you neglected the kids. If you want to play hardball, fine, but I'll win. That was the moment I understood. This wasn't a mistake or a one-night stand. This was a war she'd been preparing for. A campaign. She wasn't crying. She was calculating. I grabbed my keys, nodded once, and walked out. I didn't scream. I didn't call her names. I didn't even slam the door. Instead, I made one phone call from the truck. Jennifer Cole, divorce attorney, ruthless, brilliant, and most importantly, someone Amanda didn't see coming. When Jennifer picked up, I said, "It's Nathan Foster. I need to retain you tonight." She didn't ask why. She just said, "Tell me everything." That night, I didn't sleep. I went over 17 years of memories like they were court exhibits. Every smile, every birthday, every time she said I love you. Was it all fake? I didn't cry, but I did feel something snap clean in half inside me. Not rage, not heartbreak. Just silence. And from that silence, I started planning. 3 days later, I was served at my office. Not at home, at my office, in front of my team. The process server handed me a thick envelope and said, "Good luck, man." That's when I knew it wasn't just divorce papers. It was war. Amanda didn't just file. She filed with intent, accusations of emotional abuse, mental cruelty, financial neglect, and even a claim that I was a danger to the children. I read the whole thing in my truck with the windows up, fingers gripping the pages so tightly they crinkled. She said I created a hostile environment in our home, that I was cold and available, that I yelled in front of the kids, slammed doors, made them fear me. None of it was true. Not even close. I'd never raised a hand to her or the kids. Never even raised my voice in years. But in court, truth doesn't always matter. Allegations are enough to ruin a reputation. And Amanda knew it. She'd hired Bradley Hutchinson, a high-profile, cutthroat attorney who'd made a name suing wealthy husbands into the ground. The kind of guy who smiles at reporters and feeds tabloids leaks like candy. A day after the papers hit, whispers started. Nathan Foster, abusive, cold, dangerous. My phone stopped ringing. Two of my biggest clients paused their contracts. One even cited public image concerns. Amanda had done it. She'd poisoned the water before I could speak a word. Worse, she was granted temporary primary custody. Olivia and Tyler, my kids, were now living full-time at the house I'd paid for. And I was reduced to supervised visits every other Saturday at a neutral location. Like I was some addict trying to earn back my right to be a father. That first visit, Tyler wouldn't look me in the eye. Olivia barely spoke. Amanda had told them Daddy's sick right now and that we just need to give him space to heal. She even made up a story about me smashing a lamp in anger. The kids believed it. Why wouldn't they? She had them full-time. I had an hour in a room that smelled like antiseptic. Jennifer, my lawyer, remained calm. We're not going to yell, she told me. We're not going to post online or respond emotionally. We're going to gather, document, wait for them to overreach, and they will. So I started keeping records. Every message, every call Amanda made to my office, every bill she tried to pin on me. Jennifer filed motions. Quiet ones. Smart ones. Meanwhile, I hired a child psychologist. Not for Amanda. Not for the court. For the kids. I needed someone who could see what was happening. Someone licensed, neutral, and eventually willing to testify. The hardest part was pretending to be okay. Every time I saw Amanda on social media, smiling, posting pictures with the kids, hinting that she'd finally escaped a toxic situation, I wanted to scream. But I didn't, because anger would prove her point. Instead, I worked. I showed up at every scheduled visit. I stayed calm when Olivia asked, "Why did you make Mommy cry?" I held it together when Tyler said, "We're not supposed to talk about the house." I told Jennifer one night, "She's not just trying to win. She wants to destroy me," Jennifer said, "Then don't hand her the hammer." And so I waited. I watched. And then I hired Derek Walsh. Ex-FBI, private investigator, expensive, but worth every penny. Because if Amanda wanted to play dirty, I was done playing nice. Derek Walsh didn't talk much. He just delivered. 3 weeks into his investigation, he walked into Jennifer's office holding a flash drive and a folder thick with printed bank statements, screenshots, and photos. He tossed it on the desk like it weighed 100 pounds. "I hope you're ready," he said. "Because this is bigger than a messy divorce." Turns out, Amanda and Ryan weren't just sleeping together behind my back. They were siphoning money from our company for nearly 2 years. Fake vendor payments, duplicated invoices, a separate business registered under Ryan's name with Amanda listed as marketing consultant. Over $1.2 million gone into luxury purchases, secret vacations, and a private apartment in the city Amanda had leased 6 months ago under her maiden name. They'd built a whole life on the side. While I was busting my back keeping our business alive during a recession, they were stealing from me to fund their affair. Jennifer sat in silence, flipping page after page. This changes everything. I was shaking, but not with rage. With clarity. Cold, perfect clarity. We had them. On paper, on camera, on bank logs, but the courts didn't know that yet. And I didn't want a long, public trial that would drag my kids through every sordid detail. So I made a decision. I reached out to Amanda. No threats. No lawyers. Just a simple message. Coffee. Neutral ground. One conversation. Just us. We met at a small cafe near the courthouse. I got there early. Sat at a back table. She showed up in designer sunglasses, full makeup, her usual divorce victim uniform. She didn't even say hello. She just slid into the seat and said, What do you want, Nathan? I handed her the folder. At first, she looked confused. Then scared, she flipped a few pages, froze, then flipped a few more. When she reached the part with photos of her and Ryan signing lease agreements and opening shell accounts, her face dropped. Where did you get this? She whispered. Doesn't matter, I said. I'm giving you a choice. Settle quietly, 50-50. I dropped the criminal charges. You don't go to prison. The kids don't have to know everything. Amanda's hand shook slightly as she closed the folder. What if I say no? Then I hand everything to the DA, I said calmly. And to the IRS. And your little boyfriend can explain to the feds how he got a Tesla and a penthouse off fake plumbing invoices. She didn't cry. Amanda never cried when it counted. She just stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. You'd really do that? Ruin me. I leaned forward, folded my hands. Amanda, you already ruined us. I'm just giving you the chance to stop digging. For the first time since this whole nightmare began, she didn't have a comeback. No threat, no manipulation. Just silence. I'll talk to Bradley, she said eventually. We'll work something out. I nodded and walked out without another word. But as I stepped into the cold December air, I knew it wasn't over. Not yet. Amanda was cornered. And people like her, they don't go down easy.